Hey folks, how's it going? We're checking out more Porridge. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic day. Alright, last episode, Fletcher ended up getting caught with the pineapples, man. Well, because the old boy tried to surprise him with them, but still, ultimately, he got caught because he stole them in the first place. And never got to eat any. That's the worst part. If he actually was able to actually eat some of the pineapples, then it would have been alright, I guess. It would have been, I guess, worth the crime? Not really. And if you're in prison, you don't get a chance to enjoy a few things. I guess it kind of would have been worth the crime. But to get caught and never even had a bite of them, that's gotta suck. Because of all the stuff that he said you lose. You lose all your privileges. He loses that cushy job in the library. Then also he can end up in solitary confinement. So he loses all that stuff. He doesn't get to eat the pineapples. That's kind of cold-blooded. And old boy says he's going to eat them in the end. So that's messed up. Kind of like rubbing his face a little bit. So I wonder if Fletcher's going to be mad when he gets out of solitary confinement. That's if that happens. That's if he even goes that far. But with how old boy is, he probably is going to put him in solitary. Kind of sucks because he's trying to do something nice for Fletcher, and that's what got him in trouble, man. So I'm pretty sure Fletcher's probably going to be mad at him. It doesn't matter that he was trying to do something nice for him. It got him busted. I thought because all the effort they put into trying to cover the whole thing up, you know? But yeah, man, let's just go and jump into this one. We'll talk about it more at the end.
And his hobbies are getting drunk and beating up lavatory attendants.
I'm listening to that.
Well, I'm not, teenage sentimental slush.
Look, I have to sit through Gardener's Question Time and Friday night is music night.
All right, I sit through Roscoe's Round Table, don't I? But I draw the line at David Diddy Hamilton. Wireless is never off in this, Nick.
Well, screws think it makes us work harder. They're piping Tony Blackburn into the kitchens now.
Oh, they're only doing that because they believe we're in prison to be punished.
Anyway, I wanted to hear that. Because they have this special request slot.
Yeah?
Hello, Young Lovers Corner.
Oh, yeah.
And I sent a request in, like, for Denise.
Denise?
My fiancée.
Oh, that Denise, yeah.
I wanted to express my feelings of undying love and devotion. Everlasting Love was the record I asked for.
Should have asked for my ding-a-ling, shouldn't you?
I've been listening all week and it ain't been on yet. It's not fair. You'd think my needs would be greater than some almond sorters in Dundee.
Here, hang about. Did you write on prison notepaper?
I guess I got a song on The Simpsons.
I ding-a-ling.
Oh, well, that's it, isn't it?
What?
Claire de Lune?
Oh, yes, that's French, Mr. Mackay. French for the by the light of the silvery moon.
Thought for a moment, Fletcher, you were having a cultural conversation.
Oh, no.
Hey, perhaps you can help us with the ruling, Mr. Mackay.
Ruling, Godber?
Yeah, Miss Lonely Loins here. Oh, Lovelorn Lenny. He wants to know whether the BBC ever play prisoners' requests.
No. Oh, no. The answer to that is no. On the grounds that it could cause embarrassment.
Embarrassment?
To the prisoners' families. The families might have excused his absence by telling the neighbours that the felon in question was abroad or working on a North Sea oil rig.
Oh, I see.
No doubt your wife, Fletcher, has told your friends that you're on a 5-year safari.
No, she just tells them I'm doing missionary work in Scotland.
No, God, but the practice was also open to abuse, you see. There was nothing to stop prisoners sending messages in code across our airwaves.
Oh, yeah, that's a point, yeah. Yeah, that is a point, isn't it, eh? Some heartwarming Christmas message to some old lag, or from some old lag, rather, to his wife and family, his little tiny Tim, eh? Ah. Can we have Harry Seacombe singing The Impossible Dream? Translated, what he really meant was, can Nobby be round the back of Ewing with a ladder on Boxing Day? And a mince pie.
That's a good idea, that.
Yeah.
It's an abuse of privilege, Godber, which is why I'm here.
Oh, thought it was a social call.
6 soft toilet rolls have disappeared from the governor's closet. The governor's personal water closet.
Oh, dear.
You just
you
got in
had
trouble.
to leave it, whatever next.
Knowing you, Fletcher, probably the seat.
Just got in trouble.
Don't look at me, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mackay.
Yeah, thanks for the advice.
Yeah, to which we shall pay great heed. Now, nap off. Certainly.
He's always picking on us, isn't he?
Of course he is. It's his devious, suspicious mind, isn't it? The nosy nook. Care for a glass of toilet roll?
Hey, you've got one?
Yeah. I did have 6.
Where's the other 5?
I traded them, didn't I?
Who to?
Well, there's still a few felons in this, Nick, who've got a bit of refinement, you know. The bottom landing, cell at the end, a couple of embezzlers in there. There's Mr. Banyard, the unfrocked dentist. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of white-collared felons in here who'd jump at this sort of stuff, you know what I mean?
What do you get?
Eh? Well, I'm owed, ain't I? I'm owed. A lot of nice middle-class merchandise. I'm promised a cricket sweater, a pair of hush puppies, and a box of after-dinner mints.
Hey,
What?
share and share alike.
Yeah. What?
That's the rule of the house, isn't it?
Share my toilet roll.
Well, it's only fair.
Share my toilet roll,
Well,
Godbob.
it's only fair. Look at all these socks I've darned.
Yeah, all right.
Don't get it to it. I'm about to say it like a wad. One sheet.
Mind, down you go.
It's so cold-blooded.
When what happened to your mother and me, we were mature, responsible 16-year-olds.
Oh, come on,
In
man.
Highgate Cemetery it was. But you see, we had something behind us. The tomb of Karl Marx. No, but your mum had a nice, steady job in the hardware department at Gamages, and I had me plastering diploma from Borstal. You speaking of Highgate Cemetery, how's your love life?
Oh, least said.
Is it still that Eddie Risley? I've warned you about him, haven't I, Go, eh? He's a crook, is Eddie Risley.
He's straight, Dad. It's just that he's a tough businessman.
Yeah.
It isn't fair what people keep saying about him. They tell you he'd sell his own mother.
I heard that on very good authority.
Who from?
Two blokes who bought his mother.
Oh, it's
Oh,
no
no.
good talking to you about Eddie. You've got a blind spot about him.
So are you, girl, so are you. He's giving you a bad time, isn't he?
I just don't know where I am with him.
You don't half pick 'em, don't you, eh? Eh? You're a bonny girl. You've got a lovely nature. You could have anyone you wanted, you could. And also, you're not getting any younger. 24. Has to be said, 24.
That's not old.
It is for a teenager. And a spinster.
Oh, Dad, things have changed since your day. Girls want to be...
They all live within a stone's throw of each other in North West 1, don't they? Never been further north than Hampstead or further south than Sloane Square. Now, in the real world, Birmingham, Bristol, Muswell Hill, fundamental... Are you wearing a bra or not?
I don't need to, Dad.
What do you mean you don't need to?
Well, I'm done for ages. My breasts are firm and pliant.
Please,
What are you doing? What are you saying?
this isn't Saint-Tropez, you know. It's slave-bleeding prison in here. There's 600 men in here who go berserk at the sight of a bit of shin. Never mind unfettered knockers. Well, I'm sorry, my girl, but it has to be said you are very naive in certain ways. You're very naive about the effect that your body can have on a shackled male.
Dad, you are very naive in certain ways. I shouldn't think anyone's even noticed.
All those fools noticed. Oh, no. That was great. They say it louder. What are you doing?
Oh, that's not your game as a rule, is it?
Nah, not much else to do at the moment. Only news on the telly now. Someone's trotting a ping pong ball, look at that.
Oh, dear.
Terrible,
I'm
isn't
sorry. It is a mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I wanted a quiet word. See.
I'm all ears.
Yes, do you know where Godber is?
Gobber, at the moment he'll be doing one of his poxy evening classes. Let's see, Tuesday woodwork.
No, he's up in front of the governor.
The lad, what's he done?
Oh, he's attacked another prisoner. At work, in the kitchen. He attacked Jackdaw with a soup ladle.
I don't believe it.
Oh, it's quite true. It was a severe and unprovoked attack, the officer said.
I don't believe it. I mean, I know Jackdaw gets on everybody's nerves, but I mean, Lenny, he's a passive sort of boy. I mean, he wouldn't hurt a fly.
No, but that's why I've come to see you, you see. I thought you might be able to throw some light on the matter.
Well, I don't know. Seemed his usual self this morning. Lunchtime, he was quite cheerful. Mind you, one of your colleagues, Mr. Pringle, did step on a bit of orange peel and slip down the stairs and hurt his back. So we was all quite cheerful, no?
Fletcher, really, you must be serious. Godber is in trouble. It's so irrational, you see. No, I like that lad, you know. I think he shows a lot of
Well, it's
promise.
the system, isn't it, eh? It's the system. It's the prison, isn't it, eh? Turning an affable young lad like that into a violent criminal. I mean, you're sitting on a volcano in here, you know. A volcano which could at any time erupt into an explosion of violence and mayhem.
Well, Fletcher, you've got your finger on the pulse, you know. How can we avert this?
Well, there is one thing you could do to postpone the inevitable Holocaust.
Yeah, well, what?
You could indent for another ping pong ball. Speaking personally, from personal experience, I would say that always, by and large, I would plump for a budgerigar. Why? Well, they're more friendly. And canaries is very prone to drafts, you know. I think it's the angle of their tail. See, I speak from experience, because we had a canary once. Surly little bleeder he was, wasn't he?
Well, as you say, Fletch, the question's now academic, isn't it?
Yeah, he's dead, yeah. So Denise has had, she's been, someone's, there's another man, is there? Do you know him?
His name's Kenneth. He's in the Merchant Navy, 3rd engineer, qualified. So there's no contest, is there?
Ah, I see. Jack's the lad, is it, eh? Jolly Jack Tar, the sailor with the navy blue eyes, is it? And all the gold braid. Ah, sun shines out of his porthole, I know, yeah.
Didn't you notice how much more discreet I am today?
What do you mean?
Well, last time I was here, I obviously embarrassed you in front of all your friends. So this time I ain't giving you no calls, have I?
Ain't you? I don't get you, go.
Oh, Dad, look! I'm wearing a bra!
Girl. What is wrong with her? You're goofy as heck.
Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Look at
Ping
look
pong
at
ball, innit? Ping pong ball, eh? 2-star.
We don't play.
I don't play, no. But some of you nerks in here do, don't you, eh? There's a great scarcity of ping pong balls in this nick. I'll get about £1/4 a snap for this. Lovely. Look at that. Oh.
Careful, you swallow it.
Fletch,
Yeah?
do you mind if I ask you something?
Feel free. Feel free.
No.
What?
No.
What?
You know the other day when I was feeling very down, after I'd had the letter from Denise,
Yeah?
and I was worried about the stigma of being an ex-con.
Yeah.
What do you think I'll have difficulty like afterwards, working my way back into society?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Depends on the breaks, doesn't it?
Well, did you have any difficulty, you know, when you got out?
No. I never have any trouble with no testimonials or references like that. No. Because I always go straight, you see. Straight back into crime.
Okay.
No, but with you it's different, isn't it? I mean, you're young, you're healthy. You got an honest face?
Is that enough?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Character, that's what I can read there. That's what you got, son. Character. You're a good lad.
So you think, then, that if somebody cared for me, like, a girl, like, she'd forgive me past misdemeanours?
Yeah. If she's any sort of human being, yes, she would, yeah. Any human being would. You see, you've got to learn to believe in yourself, ain't you, eh?
He's gonna ask about
Because I
his
believe
daughter.
Dear?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll post this, then. Could you get your mucker Barraclough posted in the village for me on the quiet, like?
What is it, BBC?
Yes, on plain notepaper, so they won't know it's from a prisoner.
Hello, young lovers' corner. Is all this soul-searching just for the benefit of that slag Denise?
No, not her.
Who then?
Ingrid.
He's gonna choke the crap out of you.
My Ingrid?
Our eyes met across a crowded room.
My daughter Ingrid?
And though we didn't know each other, we both knew.
You think I'd let my daughter Ingrid take up with the likes of you? Juvenile delinquent from the back streets of Birmingham?
Fletch!
What?
Be careful!
Why?
You've crushed your ping pong ball.
Gonna kill that dude. They ruined his ball too. God bless him. I had a feeling he was gonna mention that he liked his daughter or whatever after he received the letter, and the fact that they had that conversation about her having better cans and all that jazz. And he kind of he looked at her when she came in, and she was checking him out at the first visit and stuff. They're just kind of hinting around about it, and that he didn't like her boyfriend and all that. Just those pieces, just all kind of like came together. I think it's kind of obvious. But I wonder if somewhere in the series they're going to end up dating for real, even though he doesn't want it to happen. That's usually when it happens, when the dad doesn't want you to date somebody. That's usually when the girl really wants to date them, Or maybe she won't, because he's been telling her not to date this guy for a while. She stuck it out for a little bit, now she finally dropped them because her dad kind of continues to reiterate the point, you know? Fletcher keeps telling her not to, so she finally ended things. So maybe this time she's going to actually follow his advice and not actually date somebody he doesn't want her to date. So, I don't know. She is kind of goofy and gullible, and like you said, she's a little naive. In fact, she pulled her shirt up to show that she was wearing a bra with her goofy butt. Girl's out of control. I was wondering why he why would he knock somebody over the head? But that makes sense. Like, it had to be something that had to do with the girl. I should have figured that in the first place. Like, why would he attack somebody? Since he's such a mellow guy, had to be like bad news from home, like a death or somebody, or his girl leaving him, because he's mentioned her quite a few times since we started watching the show. So I should have knew it was that. Should have knew it was Denise. Yeah, the old Dear John letter. Cold thing, man. But I think it's hard to expect somebody to just stick around and wait for you when you're in prison. I'm not saying the person should automatically leave somebody. I'm not saying that, like, especially if you've been with somebody, it's through the whole hard times, good times, all that stuff, you know? But I think it's pretty difficult to do that, especially for long stretches, man. Jesus. The people who do wait for somebody for, like, 5 to 10 years, 8 to 10 years or whatever, and you just sit at home just lonely, or doing that, working 2 jobs and stuff with kids, it's a tough thing to expect somebody to do. I know it happens a lot when people go on, like, deployment as well, where, like, the spouse will cheat. The same thing, like, if it's a woman going on deployment or a man going on deployment and have somebody at home, I know the cheating happens a lot, like a whole lot. I remember they said this, people who get cheated on the most are people who leave for the military or whatever. So, I can't remember, it was a podcast or something somebody was talking about that. I'm not sure how true it is, but I remember hearing something about that. But yeah, that's a tough thing to expect anybody to do, sit around and wait while somebody's locked up in jail. That's just very, very tough stuff. But all around, man, this is a good episode. I'm guessing his daughter and him are probably going to end up becoming pen pals or something, maybe. And maybe they're going to date when they come in. And it's funny he asked that question about her wearing a bra, because, like, everybody, she said nobody's paying attention to that or whatever. I'm like, I noticed right away. You know what I mean? Like, every guy notices that right away. What are you talking about? But yeah, even if you don't stare, like, right at a glance, you just notice it. Like, you're gonna see it, you know? It's kind of like if a girl's not staring at a guy who has an erection, you know? Like, the girl's gonna notice it. Like, wait a minute, why is this guy walking around with a boner? You know, but you're not going to just stare at it, but you're going to notice it. There are creeps that stare. Then you're going to notice it. The same thing with somebody's not wearing a bra. You're going to notice it. You don't necessarily stare. But yeah, man, this is another good episode. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic day. Hopefully you guys are happy, safe, and healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Later.